So we are going to give this guy right here a try for the very first time. This is the Raid buggy craw. So if you watch my channel on a somewhat regular basis, you may have seen I just did a review of the Raid two-way. Well, the reason I bought the buggy craw is because of the Raid two-way. So I saw the Raid two-way and I started looking at their stuff because I'm unfamiliar with the Raid products. And you know, sometimes I just get caught looking at Tackle Warehouse and buying stuff I don't always need. But in this case, I was kind of excited to see this one as well, because this, to me, is a very similar profile to the Yamamoto Ika, which is a bait I've talked a bunch about on the channel. It's one I really like. It's got the very thick, kind of, you know, circle-shaped body, that palm tree, I guess, body. And then on the end, you've got, instead of the Ika which flares out, you've actually got just straight tentacle trailers. And I actually like that better, because generally what that means is the bait darts a little bit better. The palm tree spreads out and acts as like a stoppers or brakes. So from a standpoint of fishing it, the Ika I really like in darker water, but I could see based on profile that this bait should kind of dart better and glide better. It talks about on the website, the other thing that kind of intrigued me is it talks about it being really good for backsliding and getting back into areas because of the gliding now. So that's something that I'm going to have to try as well. Probably can rig it just weightless and see if it'll slide and glide. I'm going to try it on the hover rig as well. I assume that on the hover rig that would help it glide. But in this case, I've just got it on a 5/8 ounce tungsten head and then an EWG ringed gamakatsu hook. This is quickly becoming my favorite for flipping. And we're just going to flip it around because I'm going to first fish it the same way I would fish the Ika. And for me, the Ika's got a lot of good ways to fish it, but I really like to flip them. And just looking at this right now, you know, it definitely has some, let's see if we can get that on there. So if I just pop it, it definitely has some good kind of tail kick, as well as just like, oh, look, there's a bluegill coming for it already. I don't know if you guys can see him. He'll come grab the tail. But it's got good, kind of that good crawfish skittering motion. And I realize it's just a Texas rig, so it's not going to do a whole lot, but I do like that. So we're going to flip it around. We got some trees, maybe some docks, maybe some grass. I'm just going to go down the bank. Not real familiar with the shoreline here. Let's see if we can catch a few fish. Pike. Well, that did not take too long. Bait looks like it's still in pretty solid shape. I like that. Little guy. That was a cool bite. and that was a delayed bite. I like that. So a couple of things that I'm looking for. You know, a lot of people might be like, well, you're flipping with it. You could throw any bait in there and get bit. Well, that's true to a point. But anytime I'm using a new bait, you know, I'm looking for a bunch of different things. Not just whether it's catching fish, but the way you're getting bit, the way it holds up. In this case, you know, the couple of bites that I've had in the short amount of time were both very delayed bites, meaning I didn't drop the bait right on their head. I do feel like there's times when you can drop a bait right on a fish's head and they'll bite whatever you throw in there. In both these cases, they've been delayed bites. So that's one thing I'm always looking for. Because I do feel like when the bite is delayed, that means the bait did something versus you just got a reaction strike. So that's one thing. Another thing is just how well the bait holds up. Right now, I'm extremely impressed with these. Well, both the raid baits that I've tried now. It's just a thicker material, stiffer material, which it's still got a ton of motion. It's just it just holds up better. It's not a real soft material, which I really like, especially for flipping around. I want something that'll hold up a little bit better. Another thing that I've seen that I really like is this is a 4/0 hook, and you almost don't even need to like skin hook it, meaning you don't even have to pull the plastic up and over the bait. The way the shape of the bait is, it like fits the curve of the hook perfectly. So far, I'm 3 for 3 on hooks. You know, I've got a pike and 2 bass, so you know, a 4/0 hook seems to be working fine, which was a little bit of a concern just based on the thickness of the bait. But again, being really familiar with the fat Ika, I wasn't too concerned about it because that's what I use with that bait. But definitely liking it so far. It's really the motion in the water looks great. The one thing I will say too that I really like about a lot of these baits, I don't know if you can pick up on it, but there's actually lines that go down the bait. I don't know if they do that on purpose to help you rig the bait, but I love it because it does help you rig the bait. You know, you can see where your bait needs to pop out, where you need to put it in. It just really makes the rigging process a lot easier, a lot more streamlined. So again, I don't know if that's just a function of the molds or if they do that on purpose, but if I were to make baits, I would probably do it on purpose. Get up here. It skips good, I can tell you that. Nice chunky bass. And it holds up great. This thing is still on the first one. It is a solid chunk old plastic. That's a nice one. That's a good one. Well, we have caught them almost every way on this buggy craw. We still have only caught, let's Let's let him go this way so you can see him. We still have only gone through one. And we've caught him doing almost everything. We've caught him flipping the lay down like that. We've caught him flipping pads. We've caught him flipping docks. Really pretty impressive bait. I do think it's kind of like an updated Ika. I mean, like I said, this is still the same stupid bait. So for it to be able to hold up that well is pretty impressive. It's one thing that I can't say necessarily about the Ika, and I love the Ika, don't get me wrong, but it does not hold up that well. In this case, this thing's doing it really well. The other thing I'll say is that it has a much more natural look. The side-to-side motion, the movement of the tentacles really does look, I don't know, a lot like a bluegill, a lot like a crayfish. And in this clear water, it seems to be performing very well. So I know there's a lot of diehard Ika users out there. I'm one of them. I'm not saying it's going to replace it completely, but this thing definitely is on my radar right now. Just seems to be performing quite well. I'd love to know if you guys use this. I'd love to know what your take has been. Is this something that you've had some luck with? Have you not had some luck with it? Is this replacing the Ika? You know, I'm a big fan of this style of bait. It's almost like a solid tube would be how I would describe it. But they're really versatile baits. You know, if you want to flip with them, you can flip with them. If you want to put them on a free rig, you can do that. If you want to put them on a, ooh, I feel like that was bite. If you want to put them on a jig head, you can do that. You know, you really can fish them in so many different ways, which makes these solid tubes very, very versatile, and they have the performance of, you know, a standard tube, but a lot of your different types of plastics as well. Overall, I gotta say, I'm impressed. This is a pretty cool little bait. It looks very, very natural in the water. And let me know what you guys think. This is the Raid Buggy Craw. I think I'm missing a leg there. Other than that, this thing is held up really, really good. All right, guys, well, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, stay tuned. We'll have a new video coming out tomorrow for you.